Hey, this is Justin Gaynor with General Media Consulting, and I wanted to connect with you real quick today. Had some new research land on my desk, and as I was reviewing it, I thought, man, this is some good stuff. I really want to share this with my sphere of people out here in social media land. So just I want to dive into it. As many of you guys know, I work with entrepreneurs and small business owners to help build strong, fruitful businesses, beginning with everything from initial planning of the business to strategic management processes, setting up and rolling out their digital ecosystem, everything from websites to social media to local things like Nextdoor and whatnot, to essentially create a digital space for their community, their customers, to connect with them and to be served by them. And so I'm constantly kind of keeping my thumb on the pulse of what's going on in the digital marketing landscape and how customer interactions are actually happening, taking more of a data-driven approach to it. So I want to share some of these insights with you because I think it's important. And so most of this is going to have to do with the South Florida market. I was in Central Florida for quite a while working on a project up there, but I'm pressing into the South Florida market more right now, and I'm excited to be here. So I want to share this with you real quick. The first thing I want to talk about is social media ads. What we're seeing happen is social media advertising that's organic is really not producing a lot of return on investment right now. Most of the return on investment is coming from paid ads. And you might say to yourself, well, that's great. They just want to get more money from me. And that's exactly right. The platforms, Facebook, Instagram, these are advertising generators. These are companies who are getting to know people and the things that they do, their behaviors, what they like, what they dislike, in order to be able to advertise to them more effectively. And at the same time, they're taking the data that they have and they're adjusting their algorithms so that the people that are getting the responses are the people who are paying for them. And so they're in business to make money. That shouldn't be a shock to anybody. But the reality is that there are marketing agencies here in South Florida, and they're really finding companies that they're working with whose organic advertising is getting zero engagement, and they're really only getting anything from their paid advertising. So I think that's a pretty big important thing to know, because it wasn't always like that. I think what's happened is that Facebook, Instagram, they've gotten better at directing traffic to the paid ads and getting responses from the paid ads in order to strongly encourage businesses to pay for their advertising platforms. What's generally been showing historically is that about $5 to $10 a day spent on Facebook or Instagram ads is yielding about 7 to 12 leads per day. So you're spending between $300 and $500 a month in order to get 7 to 12 leads per day, and that's pretty much where you're going to be able to get some ROI for your advertising. Now, of course, the beauty of digital advertising is that you can very rapidly test messaging and ad content to see what is actually getting response and quickly shift gears if you need to do that. And that's something that historically speaking, you haven't been able to do with more traditional advertising mediums. The other thing that is very interesting is the user-generated content. I think that this is a huge opportunity for small businesses and businesses in general. When you have customers who are sharing photographs of them, their family, their friends interacting with your brand, that sells. That creates trust amongst the paying community that they want to buy your products too. So any way that you as a business owner can leverage more the user-generated content, people interacting with your brand, people leaving Google reviews, so on and so forth, super, super important to getting the highest return on investment from your digital ecosystem. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that in South Florida, at least, using data analytics to drive your advertising, leveraging the tools that exist on platforms like Facebook, Instagram to target your ads more effectively. They've seen a 30% increase in return on investment by paying attention to the numbers and leveraging those numbers to make smart marketing decisions. So that's a huge, huge thing. The other thing is, again, I mentioned this word ecosystem, and that goes beyond just social media and your website. It also includes local events where you're actually engaging with the community, email campaigns that are specifically aimed at that individual customer. So they're just not like these general things that are being sent out. Managing that whole experience for your customer is really what has to happen in order to be able to get the most return on investment for your digital marketing dollars. They want to experience your brand on a regular basis in multiple places, whether that's at a local event, getting something in their email, seeing you pop up on their social media in a paid ad, and so on and so forth. And of course, your paid advertising on search engines, absolutely vital. SEO is still important, but this sphere, this ecosystem of digital presence is so vital these days. The other thing I wanted to mention is rapid and personal response to your customers. When your customers generate that user content, super important to respond to those Google reviews quickly. And Google is pretty lax with it. If you respond in a day or so, that's okay. But users themselves, they want to feel an affection for your brand. They're taking the time to post photographs of your brand. They're taking the time to share reviews of your brand. They want to be acknowledged and appreciated typically within 3 hours, and they want it to be as personal as possible. And a lot of times, if we're a small business, we get to know our customers and we can respond more personally than some of the larger businesses. And so we want to leverage that for the benefit of the business and for the experience of the customer as well. The other thing I wanted to mention here is platform-specific behavior. Now, I'll be honest with you, myself, I have never been a huge fan of TikTok, but what we're finding is that content that is created where you actually have a creator involved, where they get to know that person's face, that person's personality, the things that they're doing on a regular basis, and then tying that all back to the brand or the product or service that you're offering. TikTok has shown actually an 80 to 90% higher response rate to companies and actually converting them into paying customers than companies that are just putting out just general ads where there's not this there's not this grit and this reality to what's happening. And probably one of the better people that I've seen do this is I used to do real estate in Central Florida as well, and there's a realtor up there named Stacy Matthews Johnson, and she does a fantastic job with this. You should look her up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those things, and follow her, and just to see how she does what she does. She's got her external groups of people that she's involved with. She's involved with a recovery community. She's involved with a health club community, and does all these things externally, travels, and kind of invites people into this story that she's living, and people get excited about it. And you know what? She's selling a lot of homes because people feel like they know her, they trust her, they've never even met her, but she's so consistent with the content that she's putting out there that she's growing her brand rapidly, and it's making her a lot of money. And so anytime I see someone doing such a great job, I like to give them a shout out on that particular thing. So those are some insights of what's kind of going on in the digital marketing space here, specifically in South Florida. But honestly, most everything that I talked with you about today is really probably happening in most demographics across the U.S. So if there's anything that I can help you with, if you are an entrepreneur thinking about launching a business, or you are a small business owner who's kind of stagnated or just needs some help kind of getting some systems integrated, whether it's an accounting system, writing a business plan, setting up this digital ecosystem that I've talked about, I would be more than happy to talk with you. Give me a call at 386-576-3849, and let's have a conversation about building a strong, fruitful business.